Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome back to another video. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Nicolas Chae, but today we're talking about a brand new redesign for the Mac operating system called OS Big Sur. Now, this has been a huge refresh in terms of not only the design aspects of the entire operating system, but a ton of functionality changes that we've been asking for a while now, and Apple has finally listened to us. Now, I've only just installed it today, so there are going to be a couple of things that I'm going to touch on, as well as some of my favorite features, as well as some tips and tricks that you guys need to know if you guys just downloaded Mac OS Big Sur. So let's just jump right into it. Now, before this video begins, if you guys are looking to pick up some brand new lifestyle accessories, make sure to head to caraway.shop, where you guys can find things like your mugs, notebooks, t-shirts, apparel, and all that will be linked in our description down below. To be honest, this mug has been my favorite thing to drink coffee out of every single morning, so I definitely recommend picking yours up. But let's just jump right into some of the improvements that came with Mac OS Big Sur. There are going to be a couple of talking points that I'm going to touch on. However, the first one we're going to focus on is going to be the design improvements. Now, right off the bat, you can definitely tell that Apple took a lot of time to make sure that this operating system looks new, fresh, and unique. I will say a lot of the design aspects that they're using is pretty similar to what they launched on the iPad OS 14 as well as the new iOS 14. So you're going to see a lot of similarities between all these operating systems. Now, like I said, I haven't had too much time to delve into it. However, right off the bat, you can definitely see that there has been a ton of improvements, and the biggest one you're going to most likely see is going to be on your Finder window. Anytime you open up a new folder, Finder looks basically brand new. The sidebar is a little bit more transparent. They've switched up some of the icons in the top menu bar, and even if you look at the folders in your sidebar, there's a more transparent look, which I personally think looks really great. In addition to that, they've really just rounded out all the corners, made it look a lot more sleek, a lot more sophisticated, and overall, I'm a huge fan. Now, as I mentioned, they brought a lot of features over from the iPad and iOS 14 versions, and the biggest one you're going to see is going to be in the control center. Now, if you just swipe from the right of your window, you're going to be met with a brand new control center that has a ton of widgets that are fully customizable, just like on your iPhone and your iPad. So for me, I just added a couple of widgets that I use pretty frequently, such as the weather, notes, reminders, clocks, and more. Now, in addition to that, you have a brand new control center, which looks pretty similar to what we've seen on our iPhones. You can look at your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirDrop, as well as change the brightness of your display and even adjust the levels of your sound. Now, for me personally, I do like how they've condensed everything into this single control center so that anytime you need to change your Bluetooth or your Wi-Fi settings, it's all available right here. Now, if we continue to look at the top of the menu bar, they've really just slimmed down all of their icons so that it looks a lot more sleek, and the one that I'm most impressed with is going to be this Now Playing feature. Basically, it's very simple. However, it's a feature that I personally have been wanting to see for quite some time, and it essentially just allows you to see what song is playing and just play, pause, or skip to the next track. Rather than pulling up Spotify every single time just to change the song, you're now able to do it really quickly from the top of your menu bar. Other than that, the menu bar has stayed pretty much the same. However, if we look at our dock and our launchpad, you can actually see that the majority of the apps have got a pretty fresh redesign in terms of the icon. You might have seen it in their Apple keynote, but they've really just gone through and redesigned every single aspect of these icons, so it looks a lot more professional and consistent throughout the entire Apple ecosystem. Now, in addition to that, a feature you might notice until you play around with Mac OS Big Sur a little bit more is that they've actually added a ton of new sounds. Personally, I am a huge fan of all of these. Basically, little things like if you move items to your trash, you'll get a brand new sound. It sounds just like throwing something in the trash can. Let me give you a little bit of an ASMR. So I'll try and add a couple of these sounds as I do find them. Now, let's talk about some of the overhaul that came to the apps that we use the most. The first one is going to be things like your messages. As we saw on our iPhones and iPads, you're now able to pin conversations, and you're able to do that just the same as on Mac. Overall, it looks a lot cleaner. You're basically able to add photos straight from the app, as well as add things like GIFs, emojis, and message effects, all of which could not have been done before. Now, let's talk about an app that I've never really used a ton on the Mac, but with this upgrade, I'm hoping that I use it a lot more, and that is going to be the Maps app. Now, as I'm sure many of you guys have seen on the iPhone, they basically come out with these new curated guides on the maps, which basically give you a ton of different activities and guides for the city you're currently located in. For me, if I'm in Manhattan, let's look at some guides. Alright, so Apple has offered me this NYC affordable takeout guide. It basically gives you a list of places that they recommend based on your preferences, as well as the location and the hours that they're open. Rather than me having to pull up Google Maps every time I'm looking for a new restaurant, now I'm going to be able to do it natively within the Maps app, which I'm super excited about. Honestly, I don't even think I've ever opened up the Maps or knew it was a thing before this. Another app that got a pretty fresh redesign is going to be Photos. So to be honest, I rarely use the Photos app, but it looks like you can do some more adjustments with your color, your light, black and white options, retouching, things like that. that. I doubt I'm going to be using this because I primarily use Lightroom. However, if you're not a huge photo editor, then the Photos app is going to be a great refresh for all of you guys as well. Now, in addition to that, a feature we've seen in iOS 14 that has now come to the Mac is going to be the seamless switch when you're using your AirPods. Basically, how it should work is that anytime I'm listening to a video on my MacBook and then switch over to my phone, it should seamlessly transition so I never have to disconnect and reconnect anytime I want to change devices, which has been a huge hassle and annoyance for me. To be honest, I haven't had a ton of luck using it seamlessly. However, okay, so it basically says that the AirPods Pro are nearby. Let's just connect it real quick. All right, so it says it's connected. So yeah, maybe it's because I'm using the Spotify app, but I'm hoping that there will be a little bit more functionality improvements with this feature. Now, a couple of final little features that I've found pretty unique are going to be the new screensavers that come out. Once again, you have your dynamic wallpapers, which will basically change throughout the day, as well as a couple of new ones that I haven't seen before. This kind of 3D retro effect is an interesting one. I've never seen Apple use these as their screensavers, but I fuck with it. Finally, I forgot to talk about this, but Safari has also gotten a brand new refresh. For me personally, I don't use this a ton as much as I use Google Chrome. However, I do enjoy the simplicity of using Safari for things like my schoolwork, or anytime I'm doing just a quick Google search, I will primarily use Safari. The only features that I've really been able to look into are now that they have this new privacy feature, which basically helps protect you from any malware you might get while running Safari. Now, those are the main features that have come to Mac OS Big Sur. Now, as a student, a content creator, and an artist, the Mac is a tool that I use on a daily basis that not only helps me improve my productivity, but unleash my potential creativity. I'm very excited to play around more with this brand new redesign because it's a very fresh update that we haven't seen Apple release since, honestly, maybe like 4 or 5 software updates ago. And I've been on the Mac ecosystem for maybe 6 to 7 years now, and I remember when you used to have to buy CDs just to get the software upgrade. So I'm very glad that they're not only free, but very easy to install. It is available now, so all you have to do is go into your About Mac section and then hit software update, and you should be able to install it. Now, real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easier than ever to build a website from scratch with their award-winning templates. If you're a photographer, graphic designer, or any sort of artist, I can't recommend a site better than Squarespace for you guys to host your portfolio. For me personally, Becca and I have been running our studio website on Squarespace for the past couple of months now, and it's been super flawless, and setting it up to exactly how we wanted it was a seamless process because they have so many customizable blocks and templates that really allow you to get your website exactly as you want. In addition to that, you can even launch your own store, whether you're selling physical products, digital downloads, or services. All that is available to do within Squarespace, and for us, we've been doing digital downloads, so our Lightroom presets are now available to shop. Now, if you head to the link in my description, you can actually get 10% off your brand new website. In the 21st century, having a personal website is more important than ever, and there's really no better place to do it than Squarespace. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of these brand new features that came to Mac OS Big Sur. Like I said, I'm gonna be playing around with it a lot more, but I hope this gave you a quick insight of the brand new features that came out. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like down below. Comment if you guys have seen any new features that have come out, and as always, guys, let's build. Peace.